I'm Nicolette. I work for Asian Texans for Justice as our programs manager, but I'm also known as San Antonio's Asian princess. Progress Texas is what the future of Texas is going to become. The network of folks that are just high quality all over the state of Texas, of, again, progressive folks who are committed to the values of not only being progressive, but caring about our community first and foremost. There's nothing like the people that you get to interact with and the community that you get to serve with alongside each other.
It's Monday, February 9th, 2026, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch. Rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Not every political organization offers endorsements during election season, but at Progress Texas, when our board identifies exemplary credentials and capability among candidates who share our bold progressive values, we do offer endorsements, and the first round of those has arrived. Now, before I announce these, let me say that this year in particular, there are lots and lots and lots of truly impressive folks putting themselves out there to run for office. Among them are Democratic competitors to our endorsees. Running for office in Texas as a Democrat takes lots of guts and lots of determination and lots of time and lots of miles and lots of money. So if that's you, thank you, and know that Progress Texas has your back. So here's our list. Our board members have concluded that the following candidates have earned the endorsement of Progress Texas. Marine Corps combat veteran Kevin Burge, running in Texas's 24th Congressional District, looking to challenge incumbent Republican Beth Van Dyne. Kevin's been focusing his campaign on affordable housing, health care reform, and civil liberties. Tejano music standout Bobby Pulido, running in Texas's 15th Congressional District against incumbent Republican Monica Dela Cruz. Bobby's been focusing his campaign on healthcare accessibility, labor shortages, and middle-class family support for his native South Texas. Retired NASA astronaut and Air Force Colonel Terry Virts is running in the 9th Congressional District, redrawn across the southern Houston metro for Republican comfort. Incumbent Democratic Congressman Al Green has been drawn out of this district and is running instead in the also redrawn CD18. Colonel Virts has been prioritizing immigration reform, economic affordability, and restoring transparency in American democracy. And among his potential Republican opponents in CD9 is the insufferable State Rep Briscoe Cain. Current Tarrant County Commissioner and former Arlington NAACP President Elisa Simmons is endorsed by Progress Texas in her run for Tarrant County Judge, a position held by her longtime MAGA nemesis Republican Tim O'Hare, who has become the face of the egregious right-wing overreach that's produced what appears to be a massive blue shift coming across the Fort Worth area. Current Austin State Senator and former Travis County Judge Sarah Eckhart is endorsed in her run for Texas Comptroller, emphasizing effective fiscal management and her extensive public service experience and environmental preservation efforts. And finally, for now, Austin State Representative, civil rights attorney, and former school board president Gina Hinojosa gets our endorsement in her run for Texas governor. She's pushing hard, as she always has, for public education, affordability, reining in rampant corruption at the highest levels of our state government, championing our civil rights, and much more. Congratulations to all of our endorsees, and let's all get ready to vote, y'all. Progressives have been impressed and conservatives have been distressed over the statewide trend of late of high school, middle school, and even elementary school kids staging walkout protests against ICE. Among those in a twist over it, as we've talked about, are Governor Greg Abbott and the Texas Education Agency, who have begun threatening Texas school districts with takeovers if they don't clamp down on the kids. And that may be having an effect. WFAA in Dallas says Boswell High School parents got an email last week from administrators threatening that students who participate might be banned from walking at graduation. And the Austin American-Statesman says Austin ISD has also tightened their rules as of Friday, including clarification that law enforcement will take over the supervision, their words, of any student protest that moves over 300 feet from their buildings, and barring staff and teachers from helping plan or guide these protests. We encourage Texas students and their parents to know their rights, exercise their rights, and defend their rights. Speaking of corruption, if you needed an example of the federal government's full weaponization towards the aims of Trump and MAGA, look no further than a new federal action against ABC. David Shepardson at Reuters writes that the FCC is investigating whether ABC's The View violated recently modified equal time rules following an interview early last week with Texas Democratic Senate candidate James Tallarico. The View had fellow Senate candidate and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett on as well last month under Republican Chair Brendan Carr. Yes, the same guy who went after Jimmy Kimmel just recently. The agency has revoked the news exemption for talk shows, a move that critics call a First Amendment violation intended to bully broadcasters. This probe marks a significant shift in FCC policy regarding political interviews following repeated calls from Donald Trump to target networks for perceived one-sided coverage. This is garbage, as we all know. Democratic FCC Commissioner Ana Gomez tells Reuters, quote, like many other so-called investigations before it, the FCC will announce an investigation but never carry one out, reach a conclusion, or take any meaningful action. This is government intimidation, not a legitimate investigation, unquote. But let's think this one through for a minute here. Who among us would pass on a chance to see the ladies of The View interview Ken Paxton in front of the entire country? I'm sure they'd have all kinds of juicy questions for Ken. ABC, please, please, please invite Ken Paxton to come on The View. Massive ratings guaranteed. And finally, this morning, a confession. As of about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, as I was wrapping up a hang with the North Austin Blue Action Dems group, I had completely forgotten about the Super Bowl. The game, as we know, was pretty lame, but the halftime performance by Bad Bunny was the first to bring me to tears since Prince's did almost 2 decades ago in 2007. As for the alternative, we're assuming you haven't seen much of it, so let's lean on Rolling Stone, who are trashing the Turning Point Trailer Park telecast as Kid Rock's half-assed lip-sync anti-halftime show that came off like a pyrotechnics-heavy tantrum and, quote, delivered exactly what it promised. An overwrought, pyrotechnic-heavy interpretation of what right-wingers believe a real American event should look like. It drew 16 million views, which is not bad for a pre-recorded web stream, but that's peanuts to what Bad Bunny drew, which is expected to be an all-time record for one of the most widely watched annual TV events in the world, possibly as many as 142 million viewers last night. Nikki McCann Ramirez at Rolling Stone writes, quote, despite the posturing and counter-programming by his critics, Bad Bunny's performance, which highlighted the ties between all nations of the Americas, was well received by pretty much everyone who hadn't already made up their mind to dislike it ahead of time, unquote. Grammy-winning country star and Wood County, Texas native Casey Musgraves said of the Bad Bunny halftime show, quote, it made me feel more proudly American than anything Kid Rock has ever done, unquote. And we'd say that sums it up nicely. Finally, I'll say that watching that show last night makes me even more excited about our efforts to fire up Spanish language content here at Progress Texas. More on how you can support that effort in our show notes this morning. Once again, the March primary looms, y'all. Early voting in the primary starts on February 17th, 1 week from tomorrow. And hey, that's Fat Tuesday. See the show notes for a Texas 2026 March primary ballot form from the Texas Tribune that you can use right now with your home address to see who's running in the primary in which you choose to vote. Everything you need to be sure your registration's in order can be found at govotexas.org. We had a great time covering the Texas Democratic Women's 2026 State Convention in Austin over the weekend. We captured tons of great content. Watch our social media feeds as we get that produced over this week. A big announcement for our Houston friends, as Progress Texas has been granted even more airtime on the radio in H-Town. Starting this Friday, our weekly roundtable show In Progress will be airing on KPFT 90.1 FM at 10 a.m. each Friday morning, in addition to also running every Sunday morning at 11 on KPFT HD2. We want to thank our friends at KPFT for the support and partnership. We're super proud to be part of one of the most historically significant community radio stations in the country at KPFT Houston. Again, tune in to 90.1 FM, 10 a.m. this Friday. Our mission in Progress Texas is to improve and save Texans' lives by acting on our shared, bold, progressive values, and that starts with countering the billionaire and corporate-funded conservative disinformation machine. While we enjoyed the support of hundreds of partners, chances are that you, dear listener, haven't joined the team yet. If you're a regular, let's get you on board right now. A huge thanks to David Santucci, Eric Hart, and Kelly Bryant, all of whom are monthly supporters. And since the new year, Progress Texas has devoted coverage and advocacy to the issues you're passionate about, and like no other outlet, giving you direct access to the candidates in the biggest races in the country, Texas legislative, statewide, and federal elections. Join us as we work to raise $14,000 during the month of February. Whether you give $35, $100, $500, any contribution brings us closer to our goal and ensures Progress Texas can advance our Project 2026 plans, including radio expansion and Spanish media. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Monday, February 9th, 2026. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is an independent, nonprofit, rapid response media organization. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media in action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and a great week. We'll catch you again here tomorrow morning.